Chris, did you ever play past the junior varsity level of basketball?
Well, I got asked to leave the varsity team. So, yes, I did play varsity basketball, but I got asked to leave.
And why did you get asked to leave?
Creative differences with the coach.
And what kind of creative differences?
He thought that I was probably a little bit better at football, and they were like, we don't want to risk you getting hurt and taking your time, so we need to get you out to run track and play football. So they said it's probably the best thing for you.
DC ain't even make JVT. I love it.
I 100% did, and I was asked to leave. And, there's a lot of people out there that know why and that can stay. It's not something we need to dig up.
It was fighting was involved, if I'm not mistaken, correct? You beat somebody. Basically, you bullied somebody.
I was a lover, not a fighter, and I have the daughter to prove it, so.
Welcome to Big B Daily. No frauds allowed.
What is going on? What's going on, everybody? This is your man, Big B. Welcome back to Big B Daily. I appreciate everybody being here. We're live on TikTok. We are live on YouTube. What is going on, everybody? What is happening? Man, we got a lot to cover. Got a lot of stuff going on. Whoo, TikTok, as always, continue to tap that screen. We want to get at least 5,000 likes and at least 30 new follows. So if you're in here, please continue to stay, and please click that follow button if you're not already. So, and YouTube, thank you guys for joining. Please subscribe. Also, TikTok, click the link in the bio. Come on over and subscribe, man. We appreciate it. Capone, we appreciate all the gifts on TikTok, man. Thank you. We got a lot to cover. Cailtin Clark puts on a crazy show. Is LeBron trying to retire? Luka is making his case for the MVP. We got all that and more, man. We're going to get into all of this. So, and more. All of this and more. We appreciate everybody being here, man. Thank you. Again, as always, if you like what we're doing, we appreciate it, and you want to support the show, there's a plethora of ways to do it. If you're on TikTok, you've seen the gifts people are giving. If you want to go and subscribe, I suggest you do that because you get more content over there if you subscribe. Also, we also have a tip jar and like and follow. So we appreciate all of that. If you're on YouTube, remember, you can kind of control the conversation by just like you can on TikTok. Super chats are always welcome. We appreciate all the support. Thank you, guys. Let's get into the show, man. Let's get into it. So first things first, Cailtin Clark. I mean, look, we can talk about how LSU shot the basketball poorly. We can talk about how, they just didn't play the best game. I don't care about any of that. Cailtin Clark put on a clinic. Just a masterclass in shooting the basketball. Just a crazy display. There wasn't anything that LSU could do. Now, I do think it was a bad game plan. I think they should have put more size on Cailtin Clark early or even late. Trying to have Van Liftgarter was absolutely insane. And even the sub off the bench, what was her name? Poe. That was just dumb. I mean, look. Kim Mulkey got outcoached. There's no question about that. She got outcoached. But Cailtin Clark, all praise is going to her today. Period. End of story. All praise is going to Cailtin Clark today. That's the bottom line. That is the bottom line. She dominated the basketball game. That's just point blank, period, end of story. And for anybody to try to say anything otherwise, you're not being honest with yourself. So, you're just not being honest with yourself. Other things can be true, though. Let me not, again, I don't want to just say that it was all Cailtin Clark. Look, Kim Mulkey coached a horrific game. No plan. The plan that she had was bad. LSU shot poor. Angel Reese was hot early, but y'all realize she ended up 7 for 21, and I don't think she took a shot outside of 5 feet. they couldn't make layups, you know? And I think that's why a lot of people say she's going to struggle in the WNBA is because those women in there are big and physical. Angel Reese is not this big physical specimen. They got some big women in the WNBA. And, if you're not physical with them, you'll get hurt. It's just that simple. But again, Caitlin Clark gets the praise. 41, what was it? 41, 10, and 8. I mean, and she didn't even play that well in the first half. Well, she had 4 horrible turnovers in the first half. She didn't even play that well. She had 19 points. But yeah, she didn't play that great in the first half. The second half, she dominated. So, second half, she dominated. Let me get an idiot out of here. We can't deal with idiots on TikTok, people. We can't. We just can't. So, sorry about that. Now, is she the GOAT? It's getting harder and harder to deny that she's the GOAT of college basketball. It's starting to get harder and harder, people. Look, y'all know me. I've been a staunch defender, or should I say, saying that she wasn't. I've been a staunch guy that's saying she's in the conversation, but she is not the GOAT. I've been a guy that's been on that from day one. I need more. I need a title. Well, starting to get a title. It's getting close. It's getting close. And like I said, it's harder and harder to try to deny how great this woman is. So that's the thing. That's the thing. So and that somebody's saying on TikTok, no one shoots like Clark. No one can take that from her. I don't think anybody's trying to take that from her. So I think what people are trying to say is she maybe not the best. So and that's okay to say. That's okay to believe. That's okay to believe. I think this whole her playing in the big 3 is an absolute joke. Ice Cube should be ashamed of himself. I mean, is your league that bad that you have to throw out a $5 million offer and to basically make this girl or this woman a sideshow? Yeah, I think that's ridiculous. You know, and I get it. Hey, it's marketing. It's what she's super popular. People will watch, and that's what he's trying to do. They'll watch for a little bit. And then once the sideshow is over with, nobody's going to watch anymore. Let her play where she can excel. She's not going to, first of all, not enough people give a damn about the big 3. Second of all, she's not going to excel. She will excel in the WNBA. Let her go do that. Let her go do that. And for it to get out makes it even worse that he even made the offer. The offer itself is idiotic, but for it to get out makes it even that much more idiotic. So, but whatever. Either way, look, you can't deny how great she is. You can't. You can't. Now, I am looking for. I thought I was looking forward to UConn LSU, and I was, and I watched. I'm looking even more forward, and I said UConn LSU. Sorry, Iowa LSU. I'm looking even more forward to UConn Iowa with Paige Beckers. That's somebody who actually matches up with Caitlin Clark. And Caitlin Clark, if she's going to defend and guard her, it's going to be a problem. I would think that Iowa probably plays the zone, but we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that matchup even more than LSU because now you've got people that can match what Caitlin Clark, I shouldn't say match, but they can challenge her on the offensive end, where at LSU, they didn't have anybody like Van Lith. Come on. Look, Van Lith is a fine college player. She's okay, but she had no business being on that LSU team. She had no business being on that team. She was trying to be a point guard when she's not a point guard. They didn't, and then they put her on Caitlin Clark. She just got embarrassed all night. That was sad. She had no business being out there. None. Somebody said she's good looking. Okay. Fine. There's a lot of good-looking women that play college basketball, man. Don't be that creep. So I'm just looking forward. I think I'm looking forward to that game even more than I'm looking forward to the game last night. So that's what I'm looking forward to. My man Hooligan over. What's happening, Hooligan? He's over on YouTube. He said South Carolina still has the best team. You're right. They do. They do. But I can tell you this, if South Carolina has the same game plan that they had last year and doesn't make any outside shots, the same thing is going to happen to them that happened to LSU. Iowa's going to pack it inside and dare you to shoot. And if you're not making any, you're going to lose because our girl is going to make a whole bunch of them. So, and then if you noticed, it's like Caitlin Clark last night. I'm like, a lot of the jump shots that she was making, she was creating separation. Like she wasn't making shots where guys were or girls were hanging all over or anything like that. She was creating separation. That's why I was like, Van Lift cover. What are we doing here? She couldn't guard anybody at Louisville. What makes you think she can guard maybe the greatest women's basketball player of all time? Come on, man. What are we doing? But yeah, Paige versus Cailtin coming up. I can't wait. Final Four in Cleveland. I cannot wait. I think it's going to be an outstanding game. I think it's going to be outstanding. So, and UConn has got better guards than LSU because both of their guards are better than what Van Lith is, and it's not even close. So that could cause Iowa some problems. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, Caitlin Clark plays like that. I don't think anybody's beating Iowa. Now, the key is she going to continue to play like that every game? But if she continues to play like that, I don't think anybody can beat them, South Carolina included. But we'll see. We will see. Yeah, some people on TikTok are saying UConn are going to be the champs. I was kind of saying that. I was like, UConn's kind of being slept on in this tournament. They're kind of being slept on in this tournament. And I still have to remind people, hey, man, before Paige Beckers blew her knee out 2 years ago, she was better than Caitlin Clark. Let's not forget that. She was the unanimous college basketball player of the year. That's who, as a freshman, she was the best player in the country as a freshman. And then she got hurt. And basically, for 2 years, she wasn't herself. She's back to being herself. Hell, I think in the tournament, she's averaging 25, 10, and 5. So I love it. It's gonna be good, man. It's gonna be good. Again, as always, people, as a reminder, again, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Time, Big B Daily Show, live on TikTok, live on YouTube. If you're on TikTok, remember, keep tapping the screen. We need to get to 5,000 likes and 30 new follows. So if you're in here and you're not following, please give us a follow, man. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. But the Caitlin Clark show, boom, it must move on. It's still rolling. So it's still rolling. I like it. I think she's great. And for all of us, Caitlin Clark is not the GOAT deniers like myself. It's getting hard, people. It's getting hard to continue to say that she's not the GOAT. You got to start admitting some stuff. I got to start admitting some stuff. It's becoming more difficult to say that she isn't. So it's becoming more difficult. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to these games coming up. Let's move on, man. Let's move on. So, LeBron James started talking like it's getting closer to retirement, close to the end. Is that LeBron just being a drama queen, like we know that he can be a lot of times? Or is that LeBron saying, you know what, I realize it's probably getting close for me being done with this thing? I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's a little bit of both. We all know LeBron loves attention. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with loving attention. We all love some attention from time to time. So there's nothing wrong with that. And so for him to be a drama queen, drama king, whatever you want to call it, yeah, I think there's some of that. But I also think there's some of, you know what? I've done everything that I can do. This is the best team that we're going to have in LA. I may not feel like going somewhere else. This is what it is. And if we're not good enough, we're not good enough. And I don't want to play basketball until I'm 45 years old. I want to do something else. So we got somebody over here say Bronny is not built for the NBA. Well, neither are you. So what difference does it make? Lord have mercy. Yeah, he's not. You're right, Wit. My man Wit over on TikTok. You're right. He's not even talking about Bronny anymore being in the NBA because he knows. He knows. He gets it. The whole Bronny to the NBA early was created by him. Nobody else was saying that. It was him. And then his son got sick. And then maybe some stuff started becoming a little bit more, oh, my son is sick. Hey, it's going to take him a while to recover. Even before that, he wasn't NBA ready. And now that he's back, we all saw that he's not NBA ready. But all this narrative about him going to the NBA early, that was created by LeBron anyway. But either way, I just think it's a little bit of both. I think he's finally at the point he's like, you know what? Okay, let's wind this thing down. Let's wind this thing down. And there's nothing wrong with it. You're always going to have the haters, just like somebody bad-mouthing his kid. I mean, Lord have mercy. I mean, why you bad-mouth a kid that can't play in the NBA? Okay. I'm guaranteeing your kid can't play in the NBA either. So, but it is what it is. LeBron's going to come back to Cleveland for his last year. There's no possibility of that happening. Not even a little bit. First of all, they don't have the cap room for that. They would have to dismantle the roster if they wanted to pay him what he's getting paid. So there's no chance of him going back to Cleveland. But we'll see. But here's a funny thing. Do you know who actually does have room? Is the Knicks. If the Knicks moved a couple of things around, which they would do, they wouldn't have to give up like Brunson and OG or Hart. They could move some things around and put in LeBron. The Knicks have room. LeBron in New York? I don't know. It's weird. Very weird. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm just trying to figure out why people are so upset and bad-mouthing LeBron. Or not LeBron, his kid. Like, why do people hate his kid? Like, what did he do to you? So, I don't know. We got to get some people out of here that keep bad-mouthing a kid. We're not going to do that. We're not going to have idiots bad-mouthing kids. So, jealousy, yeah, well, we all know about jealousy. It is what it is. It is what it is. But I think LeBron might be getting close to retirement. He's starting to talk that talk. And again, could it be the drama queen in LeBron? Yeah, probably. A lot of that. LeBron loves attention. And again, nothing wrong with loving attention. We all love some attention. Like this guy who keeps asking me, am I outside, bro? First of all, I'm an adult. You don't need to say bro after every sentence. I get it. I understand. But you've said that on TikTok literally 19 times. 19. Let it go. Are you outside? My goodness. He needs to retire. His super team stash is dwindling. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. He might be. But why does he need to retire? Let's talk about that. Why does LeBron need to retire? Does he not? I mean, is it Is it, I mean, should he not play anymore? I don't know. I don't know. People are upset that he wants to continue to play basketball, wants to continue on in his profession. Is that a bad thing? So I don't know. I'm just wondering. I'm just getting rid of some people on TikTok. I apologize. Keep going. Keep asking questions. My man Witt. Yeah, Golden State absolutely tried to trade for LeBron at the deadline. They 100% wanted him. 100%. So, and the Lakers said no. The Lakers said no. Yeah, so it's not like people wouldn't want him on their team if they could get him. The Lakers literally said no. But you're right. Somebody, my man Darren Howard, said LeBron's going to keep it up every year. Yeah, he is. He is. So, got his attention playbook from Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. Or maybe Aaron got his attention book from LeBron. LeBron's been doing this for a decade. You know, at least a decade. But we'll see. We'll see. My man Hooligan said, it's hard to argue that Braun isn't still top 10, even at 40. I mean, you look at what, here's the thing. LeBron is a walking 25, 7, and 7 at 39 years of age. Who's doing that? Like, how many people are doing that right now? You know? And so for people to say that LeBron isn't top 10 in the league right now, you're lying. Now, does that mean he's an MVP candidate? No. No, it doesn't. Not at all. Not even in the conversation. But top 10 at 39 years old? Yeah, he is. Even if you put him at 10, he's in it. Still going strong. Still going strong. So, and I think this has some merit. My man Pat Cockrell brings up a great point. And we get this way about teams that win a lot, players that are good for a long time. It's like people get fatigue. People get fatigue with these guys being in the league. And Pat says it. He says, honestly, Big B, I think people are just ready to move on from LeBron in general. Like, we all realize how great he is, but I feel like the masses are ready for something new. The problem with that is, who's going to pick up the LeBron mantle when he leaves? Is there somebody out there that can pick it up like him? I'm not saying people aren't still capable of being good. But you remember when Jordan first left, the hit that the NBA took with viewership was incredible. And you know when they got it back? When LeBron came around. Wemby can be, but he's not there yet. And he's not there yet. So that's part of it. Luka is very good. Which brings us to our next topic. Is Luka making a case for the MVP? I think if they get to the if they can get to the third or fourth seed, I think you have to give it to Luka, don't you? Don't you have to do that? Now, here's the thing. A lot of people on TikTok are saying Jokic. And again, it becomes a bias of voting. I mean, these voters are just, to me, MVP voting is rigged. I shouldn't say rigged. The people are just dumb when they do it. Because here's the situation. How many years did Michael Jordan deserve the MVP and didn't get it? He was the best player in the league. They gave it to Patrick Ewing, Karl Malone. You know, I mean, Jordan played 15 years. And even if you count the last 3 years in Washington when he clearly wasn't the MVP, There's a good case that you could say Michael Jordan deserved MVP 8 of those first 12 years. But he didn't win them all. He got 5. So that's what I'm talking about. It's stuff like that. I was like, how is this guy not he's the best player in the league, but you don't think that for some reason he's not the MVP? It's like Jokic. Okay, and there was a good case to be made for Embiid last year. But and I agreed that MVP that Embiid should have won it last year. But this year, I mean, isn't Jokic the best player on possibly the best team? And oh, by the way, he's still dominating at a high level. I mean, I don't know. I know there's different definitions for MVP. I understand all that. But my thing is, I think the MVP every single season should go to the person who is having the best season. Period. End of story. That decides who's the best player. And if that's the same guy 5 years in a row, then damn it, it's just the same guy 5 years in a row. So now I live here in Dallas. I'm not a Mavs fan because I'm not really an NBA. I don't have a team, but I root for the Mavs. Luka's incredible. Luka is incredible. And they're playing some good basketball right now. I fear when they get into the playoffs, things slow down a little bit. They can't defend, so that'll be a problem. But, you know, I like Luka. If Luka wins the MVP this year, I wouldn't be mad at all. I wouldn't be mad at all. Because the season that he is producing, it has been absolutely incredible. And especially since we've decided that defense doesn't mean anything anymore, because clearly we've made that decision. Nobody cares about defense in the NBA. We don't care about that. We just want scoring. Because if we did care about it, then Luka's not even in the conversation. But since we don't, that's okay. I mean, Jokic doesn't guard anybody either. You know, but it's not just them, so I don't want to pick on them. Nobody plays defense anymore. We've decided that defense doesn't matter. I mean, how many games have we seen this year in regulation? 148, 142. I'm like, come on, man. And don't tell me, oh, the guys are just more skilled. Come on. Stop. Stop. No. We just don't play any defense. It's okay to admit that. It is okay to admit that. Now, David Gonzalez comes in. He said he's got a scorching hot take over here on YouTube. The MVP is the player who earns the most money that season. That's not true. I mean, I can read more, but that is not true. They've cracked the code of being in the right place at the right time. They're the most valuable by definition. That's not true. So, most valuable player to their team has nothing to do with the amount of money. Absolutely. Because are we saying that Jaylen Brown he makes the most money in the NBA? That is the MVP? Whoo, David, that's not even a scorching hot take. I don't even know what that is. But if you're really going based on that, wouldn't it be the most valuable player, like how much money they're worth? If that's the case. MJ was just Jaylen Brown with aura. Landon, that could be one of the dumbest statements I've ever heard anybody make on TikTok. I know you're probably 20, so I get it. And I know that was an idiotic narrative that Michael Jordan was Jaylen Brown with aura. Well, how did he get the aura? How did he get that aura? Did it just magically appear? Gotcha. Oh, no. MJ was more like DeMar DeRozan. Aha. He got the aura from shoes. Well, why would anybody buy his shoes? And I'm just curious. I'm just asking questions. Why would anybody buy this bum shoes? I'm just asking. No, they weren't. Why would somebody who's an average basketball player, why would his shoes be cool? And again, I'm just asking questions. Why would somebody who's just pretty good, why would their shoes be cool? No, they didn't look good. Jordans are some of the ugliest shoes that were ever made. Stop it. The Jordan 1s were some of the ugliest shoes that anybody's ever made. Now you're just making up stuff. Again, 20-year-olds. Oh, my God. Basketball didn't start in 2010, man. It started before that. Basketball didn't start in 2010. So, let's see here. Yeah, I know. The MJ disrespect these days is wild. Hey, look, Mike, it is what it is, man. You got guys that get on the internet, these youngins, they get on the internet and don't understand what real basketball is. And then they just say things because they weren't even alive. They weren't even thought about being alive when Michael Jordan was even playing basketball. And then they say, oh, well, he couldn't do this. He wasn't any good. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Lord have mercy. But that's the internet, and we love it. That's the internet. We love it. So we love it. We love it. We love it. How did he tailor his game? Well, Michael Jordan came into the NBA not being a jump shooter. That's not what he could do. By the time he retired, the first time, the second time, and the third time, he was lights out from, I don't know, let's just call it 15 to 21 feet. He was lights out. So there. That's how he tailored his game. Anything else? Anything else? Just bad basketball takes. We're not tolerating it. We're not tolerating MJ slander. We're not tolerating it. We're not doing it. We're not doing it. UConn. Let's move on, people. Let's move on. Let's move on. Again, the Q&A section. As we said before, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Time. Big B Daily is live on TikTok, live on YouTube. We appreciate it, man. We appreciate it. MJ's the GOAT. Is he? Let me ask y'all this question. You know, I don't get into the GOAT debate because it brings out the people that say that, oh, MJ was Jaylen Brown, he was DeMar DeRozan, and so you get into the ignorant statements and comments like that. But how come nobody says that Kareem was the GOAT? Like, how come nobody says Kareem was that guy? I mean, Kareem was the leader in points, okay. But we found out once LeBron passed him, we found out, well, that doesn't mean for the MJ lovers having the most points ever. That doesn't mean anything. He won 6 titles. He won 6 MVPs. How come nobody ever says he's the GOAT? I mean, because he wasn't flashy. You have to be flashy to be good? I didn't realize. See, that statement right there. Kareem didn't change the game. They literally changed rules for him. If that's not changing the game, I don't know what is. Like, they didn't let you dunk a basketball because Kareem was dominating so much. Isn't that changing the game? The last time I checked, when they change rules because of you, isn't that changing the game? I'm just, again, if you don't think so, okay. But I would guess that's changing the game. Not to mention, he had the most unstoppable shot in the history of basketball. The most unstoppable shot in the history of basketball. Nobody else had a shot. Hey, and not only was it that good, when the man was 40 years old, we need a basket. We'd throw it to Kareem. I mean, gee, and then somebody, Dirk's fadeaway. Dirk's fadeaway is on the same level as the skyhook. You can't win with these kids. You just can't. Oh man. It's It's okay. It's okay. It is what it is. Kareem was that guy. Now, this guy right here, this guy, Sideshow 33. I know him. Some people that I know him. I'm not going to say his name. But we know him. He's over here on TikTok. We know who he is. I played with him when I was in college. We love him. Bottom line, Kareem has to start being in that conversation. It can't just be a one-person conversation, man. It just can't be. It just can't. It can't be a two-person conversation. It can't be just Jordan and LeBron. Kareem's got to be in that conversation. Now, whether you think he's the GOAT or not, that's different. But, and somebody's saying Jokic clears Kareem. Just stop talking. But the bottom line is, he's got to be in that conversation. Period. End of story. So, what if both UConn women and men win it all? We've seen it happen before. And I think we could see it happen again. I'm looking forward to it. Kareem played against your local plumber, though. That's somebody who was born in 2008 and doesn't understand basketball. So, 2008, doesn't understand basketball. But I get it. Matter of fact, I'll just let it go. It's going to be Iowa, South Carolina for the championship. Probably. So, it probably is. I always think it's funny when people say, well, he played against they're playing against plumbers. Well, doesn't that make them one? I mean, I'm just asking questions. Because since that's the ignorant statement that people always try to make, well, doesn't that mean they're a plumber? And they were pretty good for a plumber. LeBron needs to start a new super team. Okay. Who wants to see NC State versus UConn in the final game? I think I do. Or better yet, is anybody even going to beat UConn? So, now here, Rob, usually I'm with you. Rob Johnson. I love you, Rob, but do you know how ignorant this statement that you just made? LeBron would have died going to the rim back in the day. Well, first of all, what day are you talking about? I'm assuming you're talking 80s basketball, 80s, 90s basketball. When LeBron, 6'9", 270 pounds, and is the most athletic guy on the court, that guy would have died going to the rim. Somehow Karl Malone made it, and LeBron's bigger than Karl Malone, but somehow LeBron would have died. Come on, Rob. You got to be better, man. You got to be better. Just be better. I get it. You don't like LeBron, and that's fine. Just say you don't like LeBron, but don't make silly comments, bro. You're better than that. I know you're better than that. So, I know you're better than that. What's up, people? What is up? Let's see here. I don't know. Big Ben Wallace. What about Big Ben Wallace? The Chiefs found their backup. Did y'all even know that Carson Wentz was still in the league? How's Carson Wentz still in the league? Or why? I guess is a better question. But Wentz still in the league. And apparently he was the backup at the Chargers or the Rams last year. After, I think it was game 11, they signed him. And he was the backup to Stafford. Weird. So, Caitlin Clark is all you'll hear. This whole team got there just her. No, I think people understand that Caitlin Clark, first of all, nobody wins alone. But Caitlin Clark is clearly the star of that team. And if Caitlin Clark's not on that Iowa team, I mean, do they even make the Sweet 16? No. Do they make the tournament? Maybe. But they don't have a team full of stars. They just don't. They got good players, but they don't have a team full of stars. So they just don't. They just don't. Yeah, she leads in assists. Now, granted, part of the reason that she leads in assists is because she gets all the attention and she's an outstanding passer and she chooses to pass the basketball. Good for her. I mean, so she's got people that can play on her team. So she's got people that can play on her team. Here's something that's funny. Pat Cockrell over on YouTube said Kim Mulkey had a better defensive plan for the Washington Post than for Caitlin Clark. Yeah, that's about right. That's about right. Kim Mulkey I don't even know if the Iowa coach really did anything other than just do her normal stuff. But I'm going to give her some credit. But, Lord, that was just one of the worst game plans by an opposing coach that I've ever seen on a superstar. You put a slow-footed kid that isn't known for defense on the best player in the game, and you expect that to work out? I mean, Van Lith had no business. Oh, my goodness. But whatever. Oh, my gosh. I mean, it was just horrible. Just a horrible plan, man. Just a horrible plan. So, but whatever. Whatever it is, bottom line, Caitlin Clark ate their lunch. She did. She ate their lunch. And it just, period, end of story. Like I mentioned before, it's getting harder for people like me to start to keep denying that she's not the greatest college basketball player ever. It's getting harder to deny that. It's getting harder. So we'll see. Let's see if anybody wants to come up today. Let's see if anybody wants to come up today. I don't know. Does Iowa win it all? They might. I mean, here's the thing. Iowa still got two really tough games. I mean, they got to beat UConn. That's number one. And if they happen to beat UConn, then they have to go and beat most likely South Carolina. That's going to be tough to do. That is going to be tough to do. So we'll see what happens. Nate, what's going on, man? Nate, are you there?
You hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, people saying LeBron wouldn't survive in the 80s and 90s like he's not a 6'9", 270-pound tank.
Correct.
Also, do you believe that Lamar and Derrick Henry will boost the Ravens' chances this year?
I think that they're going to be just fine as long as they can. I mean, the Ravens lost a lot. So, and I think people are kind of discounting the Ravens or discounting the losses that they took. They lost a lot, including some key pieces on the offensive line. Derrick Henry's going to be an upgrade over any running back that the Ravens had. That's number one. However, if the line isn't the same, it isn't going to matter. I'll just put it like that. So if the line is not the same, it literally is not going to matter.
Well, the Ravens are stubborn, so that they try to go through the draft every year for O-lines and think that
Correct.
rookie linemen can hold up in the playoffs.
Right. We'll see what happens.
Thank you, buddy.
Yep, thank you. So we'll see what happens. I think Derrick Henry and Lamar could be really good together. And again, Derrick Henry is clearly an upgrade over anything. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Terry, what's up, man?
Yo,
What's
can you hear
happening?
me?
I can hear you.
So I think so far this year, more on the men's side than the women's side. But I think this year has proven that seeding should not matter just because you're in a Power Five conference like the SEC or like Big 12 or any of them. I think this year has shown to us that it doesn't matter what school it is. It just matters about the players, the heart in them.
Well, seeding 100% matters
Well,
because if
yeah.
you play a worse team, you get a worse seed. That helps.
Yeah, obviously to a certain extent, but I think this year, with obviously, besides like Purdue and like the obvious people, I think these smaller schools gave a lot of like I wouldn't discredit NC State. They're obviously I think they deserved a way better seed than what they got, but
No.
I think
Hold on a second. NC State has gotten hot at the right time. Before NC State going into the NCAA or going into the ACC tournament was 17-14 and had lost 5 of their last 7 games. So why would they deserve a better seed than the 11 seed that they got? Like, what did they do to say, hey, we should have been a higher seed than 11? They hadn't done anything. They
I
weren't
know.
very good.
Yeah, but I was just like looking towards like the end of the season and that
Yeah,
stuff.
but you
Like,
can't look at the end of the season. The
yeah, you gotta have to
seedings,
look at the whole.
the collective season is what you're based
Yeah.
on. It's not just the end of the year. And again, at the end of the year, they were playing lousy. So they were playing terrible at the end of the year. I mean, hell, if they would have lost that game against Virginia where O'Connell made that 40-foot shot bank 3 at the end of regulation, the coach is getting fired. So that's how bad they were, is that the coach was about to get fired. But he banks in a 3 after the Michigan, or not Michigan, the Virginia player was an 82% or free throw shooter. 82%. He goes to the line. He misses the first of a 1-and-1. The guy comes in and banks in a 3 at regulation. And
Okay.
I mean, so no, they didn't deserve anything better. They got hot. They got some really good matchups, which in the tournament, matchups mean everything. But no, they didn't deserve to get a higher seed. They're seated exactly where they need to be.
Okay. And then my last one, I don't follow the NIT, but what do you think of like teams that should have made it the NCAA but didn't because they fell short in their conference and then they say they don't want to play in the NIT? Like, what do you think of that? Like,
I think it's garbage. Look, and people are talking about, well, it's the same thing with bowl opt-outs. I don't agree with that either. I don't agree with it either. Because here's the thing. All these guys, the guys that are opting out in bowl games are going to play professional football. That's what they're opting out, is because, hey, I'm going to play pro, so I'm opting out. The guys that are opting out or didn't want to play, first of all, a lot of these are the coaches making the decision that they don't want to play in the NIT like it was beneath them. Now, granted, the NIT kind of is what it is these days, but it is an opportunity to play more basketball. And if you don't make the NCAA tournament, the NIT is there to continue to play. But it was the coaches that didn't want to go play in it. And I think it's ridiculous. But what am I going to do? But I think you're right. It's silly.
yeah, I was looking for like if it was like the team as the players and the coaches came to it, like I'd be fine with it. But like if I was like a player and I was like I'd kind of be upset about it, but yeah, I definitely get it. But
Well, the thing about it is if the NIT added more money to the payout if you won, more teams would play because the presidents and athletic directors would demand it. But when the payout isn't as great, then the incentive for them to continue to make those guys go play, it goes away. Because when you take into travel expenses and all that kind of stuff, the amount, these are big businesses. They're not some little small business, they're big businesses. So they're thinking, why spend this money when the reward isn't even going to be that great? So The NIT, somebody said the NIT, that JUCO basketball was better than that. No, it's not. The NIT is fine. It's for teams that don't make it. It doesn't mean you're a bad basketball team. Just means you're not as good as the rest. Only 64 teams can get in. I would say 60. First of all, they're talking about expanding the tournament. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's more opportunity for injuries, and I don't. It's just more wear and tear for teams.
I don't even think that. I don't even think of that. You're right, but I don't even think about that part of it. I think about it as if you expand the tournament. Shouldn't the tournament be something that you earn? Like you earn the right to get into the NCAA.
Yeah.
If they expand it to 122 teams or something like that, is what they're talking about. Hell, you didn't earn anything. You know, you'll have teams that are 17 and 14 that get into the tournament. I'm sorry. Michigan State won a game in the tournament this year, and that's fine because they usually do anyway. But if you have 14 losses on the season, you shouldn't be in the tournament. I don't care. You can talk about you played a tough schedule and all. Hey, how about you win some of those tough games instead of losing? If you lose 14 times in a season, there ain't no damn way you should be in the NCAA tournament. No way, no how. And you got to keep it the same. Somebody said it over here, my man Joshua. Keep the tournament the same. It's you have to. The tournament, the way that it is now, isn't it the best postseason event out there in sports? I mean, for a month, we're glued to this thing. For a month. That's all we care about. So.
Definitely. Well, that's all I had to ask. So.
No problem, man. Appreciate it.
Yep. You stay safe.
You too. Yeah, man. We gotta start making you earn it. You gotta earn it. And I know somebody said that it's 68 teams. I don't count the play-ins, man. I'm sorry. They did that wrong to begin with when they added the extra conference instead of taking away an at-large bid, which that's all they had to do was take away an at-large bid. They didn't want to do that. So then they added 2 of them or 3. And I'm like, what are we doing? But whatever. But the bottom line is the tournament can't be or shouldn't be changed. I shouldn't say can't be changed because they can change anything. It shouldn't be changed. So, and my man Lawrence here says 128 teams only adds 1 game to everyone to win the championship. It's not about just the 1 game, Lawrence. It's 128 teams. Why in the hell do 120? There's only what? How many is it? That's almost half of Division I basketball. You're telling me half of Division I basketball deserves to be in the tournament? What are we doing? Basically, everybody from the Big 12 would have been in the tournament, except for Oklahoma State and West Virginia. Everybody so basically all the power conferences would have gotten everybody in except for the bottom 2 teams. That's what we want? No, that's not what we want. That's not what we want. Stop. That is insane to think about that. Absolutely insane. It's always good to change. Remember when there were no black players in the tournament? What? Hold on a second. So on TikTok, my man here, Nafe Love, is trying to compare adding players or adding unqualified teams to the NCAA tournament when there's nothing wrong with the tournament, trying to compare that to when they added black players? What? What? Come on, man. I mean, look, personal growth, people. You're testing my personal growth. You're testing my personal growth. I try to be nice to people. I'm trying to be nice. But you can't say stupid stuff like this and not expect for me to say you're stupid. Okay? I can't. Look, I understand that black people were at one point not allowed to play basketball. I get that part. I think we all get that part. And allowing them to be in the tournament or allowing them to play college basketball, football, whatever you want to say, that was a necessity because of a human rights issue. Like literally, hey, we're keeping these people out because of the color of their skin. We need to stop that. Having said that, adding unqualified teams to the basketball tournament, which in my opinion is the second greatest postseason sporting event in the United States of America behind the NFL playoffs, that has nothing to do with anybody's civil rights, human rights. It would literally be about money, and there's no reason to make this even worse. So, but somebody said let's keep some other topics. Yeah, let's move on because I can't go that route, man. I can't go that route. So I appreciate it. My boy was in here watching today. He has to run. I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate you joining. Anybody else wanting to come up before my man Bishop Ernest Richard coming on the show. What is going on, Mr. Bishop? How are you doing, my man?
Blessings to you, my brother. How are you
I
today?
I am doing well, man. How are you doing?
I don't get too many opportunities and chances to catch a show, but when I do, you know I'm in because you just preach an absolute truth when it comes down to the sports world.
I
Just
appreciate you
so
saying that.
some of you folks know, even us bishops and pastors like to enjoy sports. This is the greatest time of the year,
Yes,
whether
sir.
it's men or women. I'm going to tell you now, I'm a UConn fan, so I'm going to keep it
Ooh,
down to a level.
okay.
The reason why, hey, listen, I'm gonna keep it down to a level. I'm gonna let them do their talking on the court, okay?
Okay.
I'm gonna say in advance, I told you so. That's all I'm gonna say. let's
Okay.
move. Let's move forward, though. Caitlin Clark. I see that's one of your topics there. I mean, I got to give her props. I don't understand how she gets to the basket, but she gets it done, man. And I mean, I heard Dawn Staley say earlier in another podcast that she is one of the greatest women of her era. But media is trying to make her one of the greatest women of all time. Excuse me. So we're going to take out the women that played for Tennessee. We're going to remove some of the women from UConn. We're going to take out some of the women that played for Stanford. How about the WNBA, the Lisa Leslies, and all these Tina Coopers and all these individuals? So how does Caitlin become the greatest when the pioneers before her were the ones that set the precedence in order for her to be part of what she's doing today? No
Well,
disrespect to her. Go ahead.
I agree with part of what you're saying.
Uh
Is
huh.
there are other players? For me personally, I just think there's other, and I don't think anybody's saying she's the greatest to ever play. I think they're talking about college.
Yeah, I
So,
know.
but and as far as that is concerned, there's other players in my personal opinion that I think are better. Like Cheryl
Right.
Miller scored over 3,000 points and there was no 3-point
Listen,
line.
I
There's
understand.
other players that could do more on the court than what she can do. Now, that doesn't take away how great she is because she is.
Hmm.
But having said that, I don't think that because there were pioneers that paved the way, that doesn't mean that other players behind them can't be better than them. So
Well,
that's where I go
that's always
past
going to
you.
happen. See, that's always going to happen because where there's one good, there's going to be one even better, and where there's
Absolutely.
one even better, there's going to be one even better, and
Yes.
it has to keep building like that. My thing with the media is, come on now, and I want to be careful how I say stuff because I am a man of the cloth. I see people, I don't see color.
Sure.
But the media has a way of subliminally causing color to become a factor. Knock that crap off. The truth of the matter is, she's just a great player who happens to be Caucasian. Let's get over it. I mean, let her be who she is. Angel Reese, the grace, I mean, over the last year, the turmoil that my dear sister went through. But hey, listen, she bowed out gracefully yesterday. I can't wait to see her in the WNBA. I know she's going to be a beast. That injury in the second quarter kind of slowed her down a little bit. But my question to you is, had let's do a hypothetical. She stays healthy, doesn't get injured in the second quarter. You think they're talking about Caitlin Clark today?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Caitlin Clark lit them on fire. There was nothing Angel Reese was going to do about that.
Not
Absolutely
now.
nothing. I'm not saying Angel Reese wasn't going to play better. I mean, she shot 7 for 21. She got hurt. We can all
Hmm.
respect that and feel bad about that. But
Hmm.
she wasn't going to defend Caitlin Clark. I
No.
mean, Caitlin Clark was still going to score just as many points, if not more, because if the game would have been closer, who says that
Uh-huh.
she doesn't keep shooting and keep
She's the
making
go-to.
shots?
Exactly. And then coach of LSU says, "I'm glad you leaving." I cracked up. So what are you trying to say, lady? Anyway, bottom line is, I'm looking forward to the Final Four on both sides, especially
Yeah.
for the men, and I'm hoping for the UConn Purdue matchup because I want to see the two big men go at it. You know what I'm saying? I
Yes.
kind of think that's going to be a classic match right there. But Alabama ain't no pushover. I know we beat them last year in the Sweet 16. All right, that was last year. A couple of players left. They got a couple of new players. The coach had an opportunity to visit that. We're going to leave that right where it is. NC State, the Cinderella, even though they don't want to call them a Cinderella, they're doing what UConn did back in 2014.
Correct.
They're running the gamut, and they're running under the radar. And I'm going to simply say this: the basketball world, those three teams left, pay attention because if you don't, they're going to smack you in the mouth. Next thing you know, you're going to need a dentist. Keep on.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm looking forward. First of all, let's start with the women. I'm looking forward to the UConn Iowa game. I think it's going to be great.
Yes.
I think NC State, if NC State shoots the way they shot the other day, they're going to give South Carolina everything that they can handle. You
That's
know,
right.
South Carolina is the better team. They're going to dominate inside. But if NC State continues to shoot that basketball like that, the game is going to be closer than what a lot of people think that it is. Flipping over to the men, I don't know that anybody's going to be able. Look, Alabama is playing great, but if they're going to get into an up and down game with UConn, they're asking for
No
trouble
chance. You're right.
because Alabama doesn't guard anybody. That's the
Hmm.
thing that nobody seems to understand, or I shouldn't
Uh-huh.
say nobody. A lot of people don't understand. Alabama guards nobody.
You're right.
So
You're
if they're going
right.
to get up and down with UConn, they're going to give up 100 points. And they're
They
not going
are.
to score 100 points against UConn. So they're going
No,
to
they're not.
get beat. So they got to
Now,
try to do something different. Even if Alabama's making a bunch of threes, it's not going to matter if you can't stop the other team.
Now, throw one more factor in there. Alabama goes 6 deep, I believe, 7 deep. UConn goes 9 deep, and can go 10 deep.
Yes.
So, I mean, and every one of them coming on there is a potential double-digit scorer. I'm talking
Yes.
about all 10 of them.
All 10 of them. You're
And
right.
then we call up in the. I'm originally from Connecticut. We call Donovan Clingan the Great Wall of Bristol. He's from Bristol, Connecticut. We call him the Great Wall of Bristol, and we got and of course they call him Dan Hurley, Dan the Hitman Hurley, because he's always got this chip on his shoulder.
He does.
He's got that. No, and I don't think I get in trouble with this. So I'll say it like this: he's got that mentality. You sleep with the fishes.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I love it, But my brother, I'll be back on your show, man. I
I
know I'm getting
appreciate
into
it.
some stuff today, man. You're awesome. I appreciate you giving people a chance to talk. And when my man Nate Love said what he said, Nate, Western Kentucky is the reason why they changed that whole dynamic with African American players. They came out and punched Kentucky in the mouth, and Kentucky never woke up from that. And from that point on, here we are. Just let's be glad we're here. Hopefully, I get to see. Hey, don't laugh at me, okay, bro? I'm waiting to see some Indians and Mexicans make a move in the NBA somewhere.
I understand. I understand.
God bless you, my brother. Heaven smile upon you. We'll catch you again later.
All right. Thank you, man. I appreciate your time today. Mm-mm-mm. Well, man, we are going to shut this one down. I appreciate everybody jumping on here today, man. Thank you guys for joining. Again, as always, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Time, Big B Daily, live on TikTok, live on YouTube. I appreciate everybody being here, man. Tell your buddies, come on in. Again, if you're on TikTok, please, if you're not following, give us a follow and click the link and come subscribe over to YouTube. Eventually, we will be moving everything. We'll still be live on TikTok, but you'll to comment or have me at least respond, you'll have to be on YouTube. So do yourself a favor, go ahead and click on the link and come subscribe to Big B Sports Talk. Thank you for the gifts. We appreciate it. And again, anybody that wants to help support the show, like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. We appreciate you guys. We'll be back tomorrow, man. Aloha.